Okay, guys. Hello, welcome back to Ruby Diana. And the title of the show is called Kidnap. And so I actually want you guys to know the definition of kidnap because this is evidence of kidnap. So kidnapping is a crime at a common law uh, consisting of an unlawful restraint of a person's liberty by force or show of force. Under modern law, this crime usually only requires that the victim be taken to another location or concealed. But historical definitions required bringing the victim to another state or country. So they actually moved us to a different house. So that was the kidnapping of us. So I'm going to go ahead and start with that. So after we had this party, right? Sadie, okay, let me tell you guys, and I told you guys about the party. So the party, we had the party, they took me to Abilene, Texas, and Billy let me know that I would be president like Abraham Lincoln. He didn't say Abraham Lincoln, but he let me know I was gonna be president. Okay, so I guess they heard them on the device, like they could hear the people talking on the device. And like I told y'all, we have the devices like in our houses, like whatever. So they ripped the stuff out of Abilene, Texas house once they knew that I would be president. They didn't know that he was giving me something in my mouth. So he gave me like this big peel. It was huge. It was inside of a Vienna sausage. So it was probably about the size of the Vienna sausage. He actually like forced it down my throat with another Vienna sausage. That is how the rumor of Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky started, because the person that was playing Mama or Theophilus Nichols in our house, because I don't know if they thought we were doing a sitcom or something. I don't know what was going on, but they used other people in the house to pretend to be our family. So the person that was pretending to be Theophilus Nichols, she was like, she didn't know what happened when Clinton got when Clinton was impeached. So she did get mad at me. I think she got mad at me, and it's like I didn't do anything to her. She just sitting there. I really love Clinton. I really love Clinton. And then you guys tried to get him impeached. So y'all were like trying to say that he did this stuff, but me and Clinton were like so in line. Like he played the saxophone. Like he has a great personality. I keep wondering what his personality is, because I'm like, is it like ours? Is he one of us? Um, what is Bill Clinton's MBTI? He is a INTJ. No, the story about this Hillary. He is an ESFP. Okay. So that's what it says. The rarity. What is the rarity of an ES? He's an ESFP. Okay. What is, because he has such a great personality, the rarity of a ESFP. See, 6% of the population. So he's rare just like us. So that is crazy. And then I'm a E. What am I? ESFJ? I think so. So anyway, yeah. So anyway, that's a ENFJ. I'm an ENFJ. Me, Oprah, and Robin from Howard Stern. What is the rarity of should I put N and ENFJ? See, we're 2 to 3% of the population. So Bill he has a very rare personality. Should have remained to be president because he was doing an awesome job. He was doing like a very awesome job. So that's what it is. It's like we were so just like kindred spirits that it was almost like I was president. So you see what I'm saying? So that's what it was. I really was president. I did not know I was president. I was running East St. Louis. I was running the companies. I was running my new ideas. I was running the radio station and the television station. So me and Terrell were running it because I was like around Terrell like most of the time. The students at the school, I was around the students. I was around Javon, but what it is like the students at the school, they would actually like kind of block them out with the device. So everything would just be focused in on Shantae Schuler. Shantae Schuler. Shantae Schuler. I ended up doing a show in Morrison. I just ended up going to do an oratorical show, and we ended up winning it too. So it was just a lot of stuff. There were pushes and pimps trying to make me straight, serving me death on a silver tray. So they were like lacing people. They were saying they were lacing candy and all that different stuff, but that's not what it was. It was like they would hear the word candy, and then they would hear the name Candy, and then it's like, okay, now let's talk about candy. So I think I met Candy though, like when I was like, what grade was I in? T was probably 5. I was probably like 10. So yeah, I didn't meet Candy until I was like 10 years old. So that was it. Like I was like, who is this girl? And shit, they just seemed so old. Her and Eric. So that was it. So Candy and Eric are actually Candy and Eric. I think Candy is Erica Badu's real sister. Eric is Andre's twin. So Andre has a twin as well. Andre 3000. That's his twin. So anyway, okay, yeah, let's recap this party. So the only people that are women, and it's like all my aunts and my cousins or whatever, and I'm adopted, but it doesn't matter because I don't know. I just think I just belong in the family. And this hooker comes on and she's like, who's gonna want me? All this different stuff. So Sadie says all this nice stuff, and they were gonna give me this stuff and this, and then like I said, then he tells me later at the Abilene, Texas house, he's gonna make me president. So I think that's when everything just like they just snatched everything. So me and Sadie are at this house, and it is on the south side of St. Louis. And Sadie was setting up the houses for everybody to move into a house, and you guys would have new cars. So they were going to give the rest of the reparations because South City is just what's left over from the Dutchtown reparations, right? From Jewish reparations. So it's like from all these reparations that we had to pay out. So it's land that's left over. So it was going to be given to his grandchildren and to the family, right? So we had houses and stuff we could have chose from, and we also had cars that came. So when I came back from Canada, I think Sadie was supposed to probably check on the cars too, because the cars was sent to Belleville, the Lincoln place in Belleville. So the person that had me the last time I came back from Canada was a kidnapper. So that was the problem. Okay, so let's get to the kidnapping. So the kidnapping starts where they take me to 5305 Belmont. They leave me outside at 5305 Belmont for a minute, and I end up getting taken back to Ozell Shields and Johnny Shields. So I get to Ozell Shields and Johnny Shields, and he starts to drive me around to the different properties because I guess he was looking for Billy. Like he's like looking for in Chesterfield. He's looking in where else did we go? We just like went around to different properties. We were over here in St. Louis. We were at the 917 Russell House, all the different stuff. So we end up at the 917 Russell House, and that's where they killed Ozell Shields. So I was born in 1978, so I was about 5 or 6 years old. So Ozell Shields actually died in 1983 or 1984. So that was it. So Ozell Shields was murdered 1983 or 1984. Was murdered in 1983 or 1984 at 917 Russell Boulevard. So what happened was is that I was there and I was assaulted there too. So I was there with my great grandmother, and she was sitting outside the car. She was sitting outside with me at first. I was just outside looking at the rocks, like playing the rocks. I was like, Grandma, are you gonna go in? And she said, No, I'm gonna sit here. I'm gonna sit here and watch you. And everywhere we go, she just sit and watch me. She don't do anything else. She was trying to get it. She was trying to keep the device close to her so that my other great grandmother, Billie's grandmother, could see me. Right. So she had the device in her hand or whatever. She's like, "No, I'm just gonna watch you." So she go in the house or whatever, and at some point and cook dinner. So when I'm with Ozil, what happens is it's like I'm by the it's like a it's a when y'all pass it up, y'all gonna see it. When you go close to the property, you'll see it. It's a garage. It's like a garage, and I usually play on the steps. So when I'm over there, I play on the steps. I go up the steps. I try to go either way. I come down. I was thinking, oh, I need a gate. Every time I'm there, I'm thinking, you need a gate. I think I've been there with Angela and Antoine too. So it's like you go up and you can go either way on the steps. So they have like all they tools there. It's a shed. That's what I'm trying to think of. So it's a shed over there to the left. Okay. So I'm over there and I'm in the shed with them, and y'all, they built the shed, so the shed is so cool. Like it's like all this old wood, and they got all the stuff. They got all the tools hung up and on nails and stuff. Like everything is organized in there, and it's a bench, it's a workbench. So he was showing me like all the tools, like how. What it does or whatever, because he was fixing something. He was like, "Oh, gay." Like that's how he talks sometimes. So, he was teaching me, okay, but hang this back up. And he was having me hang stuff at my height because I'm short. So he wasn't, I don't like to be picked up. So it wasn't where he put me on top of something, anything like that. It's just everything was at my height. Like y'all was really short. So I'm not joking. Like I don't want people like trying to pick me up. I'll climb up there. Don't pick me up. That's just how I am. So he was teaching me that. So at some point I was back outside and I was under the tree. So when y'all get to the property, you look, I was to the left side and I was like standing on top of the hill, like where it's like it's a wall. So then like I was standing right there at the wall, like I was standing at the top of it. This little boy comes and just I don't know if he said something to me or whatever. He just hit me in the back of the head with a plank and I fell out. Y'all just hit the ground. That was it. I was out. So they were like, "What's going on?" So that when I woke up, I heard the man in there crying. That was my friend. That was my friend. So somebody got killed. Somebody got shot. So I was like, what is going on? I didn't know what was going on. I woke up, I was in a room full of kids. Like it was like all white children and one little black girl. So the girl was like, don't talk to her. You can talk to me. Don't talk to her. You can talk to me. You can talk to me. So I think it was just a bunch of people using these devices at this point, just hide themselves to live on our property. So it was like, that's why they were trying to hurt us, because it was like somebody came over before they hit me and he asked for the green tiles. He was like, "Where are the rest of the green tiles?" And he told him where to go get them. You see what I'm saying? Because they was like, usually in the houses, there's like little workshops or whatever. So y'all, that's the night they killed Ozil. Somebody actually came and killed Ozil. Um, that is also the next day I got kidnapped and taken to Canada, California, just all these different places through the vortex. Like, and people here can tell you that it really does exist. Like, you walk through a wall or something and you could be somewhere else. Like, you would actually be in another place. Like, it's the Matrix for real, and we own that stuff. It's like really cool. um so that's what it is. The person was just like, I don't know. So we got into the. So this is where it gets crazy. So I got into the car with my great grandmother, and it's the first time I ever really spent time with her by myself. So we were in the car together, and she was like just looking straight ahead, just like looking like this, just staring off into space. And Nikki ends up actually, and later in life, just when we at the house, that's what she do. She just sit there and stare into space. And it was probably because at that point it was somebody that passed away in her life, which is her mother. I haven't got to that one yet, but still. So she just sit there and just stirred like this. So I was just looking at her hand. I was rubbing her hand the whole time. That's all I did was just rub her hand the whole time. So we get to her house and they like, you know that she can't be here. That's when Osa runs out. She says, and she starts to call me Brandy. You know, Brandy can't be here. And Osa wasn't at the party or anything. So it was like, you know, Brandy can't be here. And and granddaddy not here. And she said, Ozell dead. That's what she told him. Ozell is dead. I was like, you see what I'm saying? So Ozell is dead. So okay, Ozell dead. So the next morning, they actually put me in a taxi cab and I get dropped back off at 5305. That's when somebody else come pick me up. So I think a couple times, y'all, I just end up passing out in the yard on the rocks. I was thinking I was swimming and all type of stuff. I'll be over there playing there. I play so hard I just pass out. Sometimes I'll pass out at the end of the driveway. So they'll come pick me up. So next, I end up somewhere in Canada with this person or California. It doesn't matter which word. All of it happens while I'm kidnapped. And on the south side. So those are three places that they had me. And like I said, they always have me pass out. So when I was in Canada, that's when I saw Aubrey. That was I think the first time was with Billy. So the second time I saw Aubrey outside playing, and we had like this big house, y'all, with like all these windows or whatever. So we go into the house and the stuff covered up, and so we end up just walking around the house. It's cold in the house or whatever. I think we end up going back to the hotel or something to stay. So that's it. So then when we leave and I see that Aubrey is outside playing, so I stopped this house and I think Aubrey got a picture of him and a dog in a trench coat in front of the house. So we stopped at this house and um I try to get Aubrey to come outside to play, but he took a nap. So that's when I think they gave him the phone in a bag or something like that. He gave whoever it was I was with left something with him. So that's when he was like, that's y'all, it's the cutest situation. Aubrey is so cute. That is my brother. He is so cute. Okay, look, he run to the door, y'all. He run to the door. And I was like, oh my God, I would have been so embarrassed. Like, okay, y'all, this is after everything. So he runs to the door. He said, I just had to see. Look, y'all, he's standing like to the side. He like, I just had to see you before I went back to sleep. He's so Jewish, okay? He was like, I just had to see you before I went back to sleep. Like, okay. And his hair was cut like it is now. So it's so funny. So it's like, yeah, I just had to see you before I went back to sleep. Like Keisha Knight pulling you. So Keisha really is probably using Aubrey's personality in the Cosby Show. So that was it. So when before I left, I was at the door and I was like, oh my gosh, because I would have been so embarrassed if he wouldn't want to see me again. If he didn't ever want to see me again. So he was like, you don't got to worry about that with that little boy. You ain't got to never worry about that with him. Like that. So I was like, okay. So we left and we went back to Illinois. And at this point, that's when I noticed that that's not my granddaddy, and I started crying. So then I not my granddaddy. So Ozell is my granddaddy, and Billy is my daddy. So I call Billy daddy. So the guy was trying to dress like Billy. So he had on a blue Dickie shirt and a blue Dickie pants, right? So his face looked like Latron Davis. I saw a picture of Latron, and it's like that's who the man looked like, because Latron facing like kind of smoothed out or something, like he crazy. So that's what it was. The man was just on his knee and he was like, come here, come on out the car. Come on out the car. I wouldn't. I was in the car screaming. I was like, no, call 618. I gave him my granddaddy's phone number. I was like, no, call them so he can come pick me up. Y'all, out of nowhere, this man show up. Now, remember, Ozell passed away. This man show up and he jump in the car, and it's a blue car. So the cars are in a fleet. They in the back, right? Because that's what it was. They had to come pick up the cars. So Sadie would have been the person to come pick up the cars. That's why the person was like, who are you? Like, why are you here to pick up the cars? I didn't know what was going on, y'all. They just left the doors open. So I was like, what is going on? So that's what it was. The man came, he jumped into the car. I end up on the north side of St. Louis. So that night, a house caught a fire or something like that. So the man didn't know I was in the car anymore. He just left me in the car. Y'all don't know if he just left me to die or what, but it was like I was asleep. So the woman, and I think I was in my car seat. So the woman was like, it's a little girl in here. It's somebody in here. She's like, can you unlock the door? So I opened the door and let them in. So he was like, listen to me, little girl, we're gonna run into this house and we're gonna get all the important papers out that you know, right? Like we'll get important papers so you can have the paper. So he say, y'all, we get in the house, I don't know nothing, but I know the house is like yellow, it got stairs, whatever, something like that. So it's over there on the north side. They might have burnt it down, I don't know, but the blue car was still over there too. So the man, he run upstairs, he grab the papers, he come back down there, see, he throw the papers in the trunk. So we just sit in the car. So I don't understand how I ended up. Then I ended up at June's house on the floor eating something, right? So then they take me back to 5305. I was over there in my underwear and panties. Somebody come pick me up, and I think at this point it's the person that murdered Sadie. Okay, that's who I ended up with too, driving around too. So then I end up back at 5305, but this time they let me in the house. At this time I sleep in the bed, right? So I'm in the bed, I'm sleeping, so they'll come and get me and take me back to the south side, right? So then somehow I go through the vortex. We end up in California. That's where I see Jason Terrell Taylor, which is the game. So I see him, and these girls are talking, smacking my ear. I don't know they face or anything, but it's like apartments, just like the projects in Oil Weathers, right? Where one of my family members used to stay. So then that's what it was. They kept dropping me off over this family member's house. They kept dropping me off over Penny house. Then they dropped me off over Lady house, and that's where they kidnapped Andre. So Andre Benjamin was kidnapped, and it was in the summer of 1984, so 1983 or 1984. So me and him were playing, and we were doing like these Lego sets, right? And so Andre was trying to like hide the paper or something, because I was like, they was trying to put the paper on the couch, like, nah, put that in your drawer, so like you will be able to like know, like, if, because it look like you still need the paper, so keep the paper, you know what I'm saying? So it's like making these like those what do they call, like those advent calendar Lego sets. I just did one. That's what made me remember, right? So me and Andre was sitting next to each other. We was talking and stuff, and the man called and said that he was gonna pick Andre up because Patrick was in there making fun of me for being Japanese. So Patrick and Eric was in there in my face trying to make fun of me for being Japanese, and I'm little, y'all. So I'm sitting on the bed, and he just talking to me like I'm a Japanese baby. Okay. So ladies say, Patrick, leave that girl alone. Leave her alone. So the man calls, say he gonna get Andre, right? Which I can't, is his name Earl? Like I can't remember his name. So anyway, all I remember is Andre. So the man calls and tells him he's gonna pick him up. When he says that he's gonna pick him up or whatever, he keeps him overnight. And she's like, "Nah, bring my son back." I guess he took Andre to Georgia. He never brought Andre back. I stayed the night to see if Andre was coming back, and he never came back. So I didn't know if he came back or not. I actually forgot about Andre too. Okay. So then I end up back in Washington Park at the house with Nikki and Terrell. And again, we didn't have parents there or anything. So the two people that were kidnapping us, y'all, they dark skinned. They always following me too. They very dark skinned. And when they together, they be they be like high or something or whatever. But I think they the ones helping kidnap everybody. So they was on the bus with me one day. So I was they came back to the house with us because we didn't see their faces. I don't think it was Sylvester and the surrogate. I think it was like the surrogate that was pretending to be Sadie. It was just like um who was it? It was just them, right? So I ended up humping on a doll, right? So I go in there and I hump on a doll, and that was it. So what happened was we got a call before they came, and they were telling us that Carletta was supposedly on the phone, and I got a chance to talk to Teddy Pendergrass because I just love Teddy Pendergrass. And since I had been back there with them, I was like always like looking at Teddy Pendergrass with the stuff. So she called and they like, yeah, we're gonna get Teddy Pendergrass. He'll make you breakfast in the morning. So Nikki was on the phone with her. She was like, yeah, she say she bring it back Teddy Pendergrass, and they talked to me on the phone and everything. Y'all, Carletta was a different person. They seen a different Carletta too. So we was still in there, and we was there again for a few days without anybody. And that's when they showed up. Like I said, I ended up humping the dog. That's the night I slept in the bed with Terrell. So that's probably how Chris was kidnapped too. So Chris was kidnapped as well. Chris was kidnapped as a baby, but I think he got to do a DNA test. But I think Chris is really their brother. This is just like Chris Brown may be Angela and Antoine's related brother. Okay. So that's skeptical, because what happens is it's like later on, like when I'm 8 years old, I meet Chris. And Chris was in kindergarten with Ashley McGee. So that's what it was. So that's the next person that was kidnapped. So Ashley McGee was kidnapped. She was kidnapped when I am. So see, I don't know if she older or younger. I don't think that they know her age or anything, her birthday or anything. They might know it because they probably took the stuff from the school. But she was kidnapped when I was starting school. So I was starting school. I was starting school at like 6. I was going to school when I was 6. And so she would have been 1. So what did I put on her? So 1984. So Ashley McGee was kidnapped in 1984. So her and Chris about the same age because they were in class together. So Ashley McGee was kidnapped in 1984. And she wasn't at the school with me yet, but they were at the house trying to teach her how to walk. And Chris Brown was kidnapped in 1984 as well. Okay, and then who else was kidnapped? And then I get to Alyssa later, because Alyssa was actually born to her mother and they kidnapped her from the hospital, which is over here. What else? I think that's all the evidence, y'all. Or just everybody being kidnapped. So Alyssa was kidnapped in 1998. Stevens was kidnapped from St. Alexia in 1998. She was birthed by Angela Nicole Thomas. So yeah, so we are all kidnapped and we all still need help, and that's it. Like that's the show. Today is just like, let me get this evidence out here, and it was all because our family, they killed Sadie. They were living on properties out here that were not theirs, and they killed Sadie for being on the property. And I guess because she would have saw, because somebody was holding me out. They were holding me back from whatever was happening, but I saw what happened. And so that's it. Sadie was coming down the stairs. She would have saw that somebody was living down there. So that was it. Anyway, have a great day. Have a good day.